somebody calls their therapist for the first time, brand new therapist. They go, I want to get an appointment with you. They say, come on in. Yeah, right. If it was that easy, but let's just say, come on in. They got an appointment and they say, I'm here because I broke up with my boyfriend and I loved him and I'm devastated and I'm a mess and I'm here. And what do I do? What are the mistakes that professionals are making when they get that client?
I'd say one of the biggest mistakes we can make is to bright side a client. And most therapists don't bright side. Most therapists will be present with the pain and the grief. But I think by bright siding, I mean saying, well, you were complaining about him anyhow. You're going to be so much better off. Or there's plenty of fish in the sea. That kind of nonsense. That's
Yeah.
bright siding. It is also important that, good therapists, and I think most therapists would validate the loss. And listen, Kyle, the key to remember is that we've got, whether a relationship has lasted 2 months or 40 years, heartbreak is heartbreak.
Mhm.
And it is unfair to say that that person who's been in a relationship for 2 months is not experiencing a heartbreak. If anything, what they may be experiencing is the loss of all they thought was going to have happened. I had a friend once who lost a partner in a brand new, relatively new relationship with 6 to 8 weeks. And I remember listening to other people. She was very devastated. And
When
he
you
died.
say she lost a partner, he died.
He died.
Oh, okay.
And a lot of people were trivializing it. They're like, oh my gosh, like, why is she making such a big deal about this? Like, they weren't together that long. And I said, do you not realize what she lost? She lost all that possibility because they were falling in love, right? It was a really lovely experience. And she'd been waiting for that for a long time. And so I said, not all losses are accumulated history. Loss can also be what we thought would be possible. And so the role of the therapist is to sort of receive that hurt. And again, where therapy is so important is that the therapist doesn't recoil from the anguish, right? That we're present with the anguish, but we're like, oh my gosh, this is so terrible. And we're wailing along with them, or we're like, oh God, that sounds terrible. Like we're almost like overwhelmed by it. Our role is to not be, because many people feel a sense of shame when that happens, or they feel like they're even being a burden to the therapist. So that's why therapists are trained. We spend so many years in school learning how to be present. I happen to believe humanistically, authentically present. We're not a machine. We're not a robot. But we're also not recoiling. We're being present, but validating it. It is real. It does. If it hurts everywhere, that there is no magic way to make it go away. And that, this experience of loss, it's a natural one. It's a human one, but that doesn't make it any easier.